Yeah, let's.
Yep. I had great work planned ahead for me. I was going to do great things. We were going to help people. But they wanted to use techniques that the Amethyst Academy. And we aren't the church. We are men, women, and people of science.
Mr. Stowe, have you had any contact with Albrook University or these three apothecaries in the last little bit?
No, and the fact that they are in town is not surprising to me. There's many things that come through Lemuria, but those three are not to be trusted. Not at all. And not any of their colleagues either.
And if they were to be staying with someone that seems to uses you, but lives weren't lived, what would you make of it?
The guild put out that I was a troublemaker, that I was a traitor, when I wouldn't go with them. Those three and their colleagues, they have the guild master and everything. The whole guild is corrupt right to the core. Sure, there's people in it that don't know what's really happening. But I know. A few years ago, I was invited to a meeting with well, one was a wizard of the Amethyst Academy. That much I know.
Remember her name?
Yes, Dr. Friedrich von Lichten. The Academy. And there was another, this Diedrich Moores. Both of them were Academy wizards. They were very interested at the time in all that delirium stuff. At the time, I don't even think we were calling it delirium. And the guild wanted to know about it. These two had information about it. And I knew right from the beginning that we were getting involved in something we should not be getting involved in. And I was driven out of the guild for speaking up, for saying that we should have kept to our principles.
Austin, I gotta be honest. Witness. It says you were in boots with three members of the Guild of Science and whatever, and they said that they saw a man in a wheelchair sneaking around the temple. What do you have to say about that?
Is that a lie?
Oh yeah.
You can't say that. You wield Ignatius.
Am I
As you even attempt to speak
So
those
in my
words,
head, I think I said it.
as you even think those thoughts, you feel the boiling fire of Ignatius in your mind. Say, lies will only keep you further and further from the truth.
Okay, so what happens is Pluto is silent. He stands, he speaks forward to say something, and then he shrieks and holds his head as he collapses to his knees and starts begging for forgiveness.
Pluto, this is a weird direction.
I don't think Pluto should play bad cop anymore.
What?
You feel Ignatius urging you to draw the blade. Give me a charisma saving throw.
17.
Ignatius gets a 17 as well, so we need to re-roll off again.
That was my best roll ever. It's not gonna be better than that.
Ignatius holds pat at 17, and you feel the blade take control of your body as it draws itself out and flares to full brightness, and you feel a single word on your lips: truth.
Whoa. Whoa.
I
will
turned to-
not be privy to lies.
I turn to Austin and I say, anything you've told us so far, has it been the whole truth?
Austin says, by the light of that holy blade, I swear it.
Oh, okay. Good.
I apologize for my friend. He has a truth sword. It gets insane in here. Listen, Dr. Stowe. The final question for you, and we'll get my crazy friend out of here. What possible reason would members of this occult practice have to disrupt and attempt murder on a group of important individuals in Liberia? Can you think of anything? A motive? A reason?
The guild is supposed to be about science, about knowledge, about learning. But those three, they have an agenda. I don't know if it's power or if they want to pursue secrets that people are not meant to know. But I know that, well, for a long time, Altbrook University had royal assent. It was seen as the highest institution of learning in Westamar. And with the Civil War, enrollment dropped, and any sort of oversight that used to come from the academy, from the crown, from all of it. It just all fell apart. So did the funding, too. And there's been a lot of disagreement and unhappiness amongst the faculty about the way the university's been run. And in the midst of all that, some people have been able to do some very, very wrong things.
Do you see any reason, then, why Altbrook University or members of this guild would not want a new king in Westamar?
A new king means authority, stability. It means that there'll be oversight again. People wanting to keep tabs on them. Maybe they don't
Makes
want
sense.
that.
Do you have any reason to believe that Dr. Bronte, former colleague, would be involved with these three?
With respect to Dr. Bronte, she's a gullible rube and always has been. She's one of those lovely people that sees the best in people, and people take advantage of her for it.
I think that's all the questions I have, Dr. Stowe. Anything else from you, Pluto? I say hesitantly.
Only the truth!
Okay, all right. Good.
And I'm wrestling with Ignatius, but still sort of losing control.
They had another colleague back in Altbrook, Sina Reams. I tried to tell her to leave when I did, but she didn't. She might be a little bit more reasonable. You should, if they've done wrong, Sina might be one that you can still reason with.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stowe. This information is going to be most helpful in our investigation.
Agreed.
Goodbye.
And with that, I think he's free to go too.
Okay.
Pluto, Interesting direction. You did great.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't be the bad guy.
Okay.
I will be the bad guy.
Theo, it's your turn to be bad cop.
I seek the truth and justice, and I think I need to do that. And I only know how to be a bad cop by trying to fake
You
it,
good?
and I can't be that.
Pluto, you did a great job as good cop. You go back to good cop. Theo, you're bad cop. I'll be neutral.
Is that what bad cops are?
I mean, Veo, you shoot monsters in the face without hesitation.
Okay,
Wait.
yeah, but I'm not gonna shoot this
No,
doctor.
you're going to shoot this doctor in the face with words.
With,
You feel me?
With aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Pointed.
Pointed comments are your
Is it
arrows.
like a dark enough room that you could hide in the back, and then you just come out?
Can we turn off the lights?
There's
So you just
there's a
submerge.
barred window to the cell that does allow some light in.
Oh.
You could shutter it if you wanted to.
Veo, you go in first. We'll be right behind you. Go in and shutter the window. Be dramatic. Let's go.
No. One of you go in, shutter the window,
Yes.
and then I'll come up behind Alyssa. And you open the window. I'll be there.
All right. As the neutral party, I'll go in first. So I walk into the room. I nod to Alyssa, and then
Alyssa is notably younger than the other two that you spoke with. Perhaps in her late 20s, even early 30s, and she's a younger. She's rather short and a little bit round. But she has a warm-looking face, but she smiles nervously, and she almost turns completely
Hallo.
red when you
Hei.
come into the room.
Oi, ok. Ja, det går bra. Fordi jeg må hente på hovedlageret, da må jeg kanskje vente litt før jeg får det uansett. Men ja, det er på Berger. Og så må vi innom og leie en sånn der høy stige, fordi ja. Så da ja, har det gått tid. Ja, lettest for deg, ja. Ja, du kan sikkert bare... Hvor lang tid bruker du til Ensjøa, eller Helsfyr? Ok, da kan du sikkert bare dra dit da, og så kan jeg ringe deg når jeg har fått hentet den kabelen. Ja, ha det. So, iPhone I have to bring along.
Into the room, and she's wringing her hands. And she's, I'm not in trouble, am I? I really hope I'm not in trouble.
As I'm walking towards the window, I turn to Pluto. I'm like, I feel so bad. I feel so bad, Pluto. And then I shutter the windows.
Please,
Alyssa,
don't. I didn't.
I'm not in trouble. Alyssa, you're not in trouble.
I crawl.
My name is Pluto Jackson. This is Sebastian Crow. I just have a few questions for you. There was an incident, and we're just trying to know more about it. Is that okay? Is it okay if we ask you a few questions? Do you need anything?
Okay. Okay, I'll answer.
I don't know where Veo is right now. I can't see her.
I actually, what I do is I make my way to the seat in front of her and I'm sitting across from her.
I'm really
And I,
sorry. I'm really scared of cats.
I unshutter the windows.
You're not gonna make me pet that cat, are you?
And I just lean forward and say, "Like, you don't tell us the truth." Alyssa.
Yeah.
Listen, we've heard some interesting rumors around town around Mother Doctor's about you.
What kind of rumors?
Rumors that you might be involved in treachery. Involved in
No.
murder.
No. I didn't. I didn't
You
know.
didn't. What didn't you do? What didn't you know? You do know. What do you know?
Earlier this week, one of my old professors came and saw me in town. Dr. N. Young, and he needed to tell me where if there were any places where he could get nightshade, and I told him the herbalist that I knew that might have some, and he thanked me, and then he asked me about a book that I had taken from the library quite a while ago, and if you could have it back.
Thief. We have
No,
a thief in front of us.
I didn't steal it. I just when I came to the barrio, I borrowed the book and I got mixed up in things during the war and ended up in Liberio and it never made it back to Altbrook. That was all. It was an accident that I took the book.
Listen,
What
no
book?
one's accusing you of taking the
Ja, det blir vel D&D på søndag, regner jeg med. Ja. God morgen til deg.
I gave it back to him. He was
Ferske
my
boller
professor
fra
from the
Circle
university. I
K som
thought he
er
was going to
varme.
return it.
Det blir deilig. feire bursdagen til Linnea I kveld. Etter 1 år. Så det blir stas. Hun fikk en gave I stad. Eller før jeg dro. Så fikk jeg melding når jeg satt meg I bilen at da vi kunne fikse høyttalere I tillegg, så da må jeg dra og hente høyttalerkabel. Og en 10 trinn stige, så da blir det litt forskyvet på når jeg kommer frem til den arbeidsplassen. Jeg sendte gratulasjon til Nina også. Hun hadde vel bursdag for noen dager siden på Facebook. Jeg sjekker nesten aldri Facebook, altså det... Jeg har Facebook på den ene mobilen og på PC-en når jeg logger inn på riktig nettleser. Jeg gidder ikke... Facebook stjerner så mye strøm, så har det på hele tiden. Spennende å dra på den der fluffy stand-up-greia, for jeg tror jeg aldri har vært på noe stand-up før, så det blir spennende. Ja, det som deilig med iPhone har funnet ut, så nå har du iMessage, og da slipper du alle de der Messenger-greiene, og ja, alt funker via mobilen. Android har jo noe tilsvarende, de har en RC-chat, eller hva det heter for noe, men det må man sette opp. Overraskende nok så fikk jobbmobilen min oppdatert til Android 15 I går. Det hadde jeg ikke trodd.
He said he
The
needed...
book.
Oh, it was a really fascinating book. It was a catalog of old elven ruins in Westamar.
Now, why would you need to look for elven ruins?
Well, I just think elves are really neat. I mean, they are. It's such a cool mystery about them, and I thought it was an interesting read.
What? So your professor came by to take this book. What implications are there with Nightshade? Why would somebody be looking for
Jeg skal
Nightshade?
vel
As
spille
an
mer
apothecary yourself.
World of Warcraft I dag. Jeg kjøpte meg Dune Awakening I går, men så funket ikke privatserverne som de hadde satt opp. Eller jeg måtte leie. Så ventet jeg kanskje 3 timer, og de klarte ikke å få dem opp. For dette faen hva de drev med. Jeg ble refundet hele dritten, ass. Jeg ikke så ivrig for å spille Dune. De andre kommer uansett til å spille fra meg på en dag, så det ikke så gøy, sånn sett. Kan heller vente til det kommer på salg, så kan vi spille det sammen, og Tore. Som faktisk ikke gamer 24/7.
Shade used for?
Well, most commonly when you dilute it in small amounts, you can use it for some medicinal purposes, but it is also known that in sufficient quantities, when used properly, it can make some very...
Ja, det en kul historie sånn, men det at du må være connectet til hovedserverne, og så får man ikke lov å hoste servere selv. Bullshit.
Alyssa, we have reason to believe that the Guild of Conscientious Practice and Scientific Discovery is dabbling in some psychedelic practices. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
No, not at all. I studied really hard, and I guess I didn't technically finish my studies. I'm really sorry. I know I've been practicing, and I shouldn't really call myself a doctor. I didn't finish, but I knew a lot, and I thought I could still help people.
Liar, thief. I'm hearing some really terrible things coming from you, Alyssa. And you know what? Someone so desperate to keep a secret like that might do anything.
Oh,
For her former professor, who would probably know she didn't graduate.
Does she seem genuine and actually like I'm trying to get a read on her. I've been watching her reactions to Veo this whole time. Does she feel like she's responding in genuine sort of like, oh no, I'm in trouble, or does she? Yeah.
Give me an insight check.
I have proficiency in insight. Would
Sure.
that help me sort of...
I will just go and check if
whichever
I can pick up my cable. Was not ready. That is really annoying. I can't leave the ignition on in this car without it turning off. When I lift my body from the seat, it turns off.
The two of you has the higher modifier. Can make a check.
I have 0, so you go ahead, Pluto.
I get a 25.
She, judging by her, if you press her too much further, she might have a panic.
Okay. Was Anton, Professor Anton, that wasn't one of the names we were given?
It was.
Okay,
yeah.
it was.
Look, Alyssa, we don't want things to spiral out here. We just needed a little bit of information, and like missing books, that's fine. Alyssa, we can make those things go away. We're just interested if you know of Veo, what were the names of those 3 apothecaries?
Everett Reed, Johanna Beers, and Anton Young.
Do any of those other names ring a bell?
I studied a little bit with them before I left Altbrook, but mostly under Dr. Young. He was a very, very expert at treating diseases.
Fascinating. What else do you know? Did you find yourself pretty handy at treating diseases? Did you learn anything from this?
Yes, that's what I do here in Liberio now. I help people who are sick or injured and tend to them.
It's very admirable work. It's very respectable. What we discovered was the beginnings of a plot. There was some reanimation, definitely some poison. These things can get really out of hand if, we just want to protect the people of Liberio just like you do. So anything else that you can tell us, anything about the last few nights, for example, do you know anything about this, the ship of the ill-fated Finch?
No, I don't. Dr. Young came and visited me for about an hour, asked me a few things about what was going on, and that was all I had to do with him. This must have been earlier this week. I was surprised to see him, and I asked if he wanted to catch up for old times, but he just wanted the book and to know where he could get some nightshade. And that was it.
Did he say anything about where he was heading off to next? Did he mention any other names or places? Anything that sticks out in your memory?
He just said that he wanted to get out of town before all this business with the Caspians, the Illyrians, and the Westamarians actually happened.
Well, that sounds like a confession. Not from you, sorry, from him. Guys, I think...
Sounds like she's associated with one of the people we've been considering on our list.
Well, they are one. No one would want to make that leap. So, like, Alyssa, if you can give us anything about the whereabouts of any of these three, any places that they've mentioned in the past. One of these was your professors. Did they have any places that they enjoyed visiting that were near Liberio?
As far as I could tell from talking to Dr. Young, he was here in Liberio to procure some components for whatever the work that he was doing. He wouldn't tell me anything about it. I asked. He wouldn't tell me. He said it was just a new project with some colleagues, and that he needed those, and then he was going back to the university.
And other than the nightshade, he didn't mention any other components.
He said that he was looking for a few other things, but did I know where he could find nightshade?
And you didn't think that was odd? You didn't think that was strange?
No, I use nightshade in my own practice. As I said, we use it as a medicinal ingredient all the time, in small doses. It is useful for treating some conditions. So it didn't strike me as odd at all that he would need to procure some.
Guys, I think we have everything we need.
Melissa, thank you so much for speaking with us. Forget about the book. Forget about this. These interactions you had with your old professor. I want you to get back. Keep doing the great work that you're doing for Liberio.
Okay.
And I hope we can reach out and ask any follow-up questions as we uncover more about the situation. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Here, take my card. My name's Sebastian Crow, hero of Liberia.
What does your card look like?
It's a scrap piece of parchment with a little picture of a doodle of a crow on it. That's it.
Any
And
contact
Alyssa?
information at all?
No.
Alyssa,
Good.
I stare at her and lean over the table and say, you should really go back to school if you're going to practice, doctoring people, medical things. So go get your license.
Go back. Stay in school.
Stay in school.
We're gonna check and make sure that you finish your studies.
I will.
Fine, Jude. I lean back into the door.
And then Veo disappears.
All right.
As you step back into the guard chamber of Anchor Citadel, Isabella Azio is there. She asks, "Did you get what you needed?"
I got to play the bad cop.
I am scared of Veo as bad cop. She tore apart this poor.
Figuratively, not actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still intact.
they're all
but
fine.
Only physically.
We actually got a lot. I think there are some shady operations happening out of the university, and there seems to be a growing interest in occult practices and elven ruins. So
We got names.
we got names. We know who the 3 people are. We know that they've left. We know where they're going and what they're investigating. We don't yet know their reason, other than it might have been an attack on the king because they don't want rules and structure in Westamar to hold them back from achieving their ambitious goals.
Your king has enemies. That much is clear.
Yeah.
But so do the other visitors that are coming into this town, into Liberia. Both Venus Joplin and Polonius Reed, the Lord Regent. They have their own fair share of enemies as well.
I mean, you're looking at one of Venus's enemies right here, right?
I think
Rival?
what has become challenging is uncovering the true nature of the plot. It may have just been a wild card to cause disturbance and destruction and to sow distrust among those collecting. The idea that we were able to foil this plot, or at least this stage of it, feels very rewarding. Although I don't think this is the end of it. I still don't feel like we know if those are related. The direct attack on Wilhelm and this, I still feel like they're connected by 2 different shows, which causes more questions. Although I'd love to be able to put those together. Although, like, I need a flow chart or something. I do not know how to put all this.
Yeah.
I need a visual.
Our list of groups of people who have issues with our operation, it's weird. You go into Drakenheim, you're like, I'm going to save the city. You spend, a bunch of years, checks calendar, a year and a bit, trying to do what's right, and suddenly you have this huge list of people who just want you dead. It's crazy.
Yes, it is. For some reason, the world is filled with people who will resist at every opportunity those who are actually trying to make the world a better place. Those who are, there will always be those who value their own ambitions, their own needs, their own interests over what is right and what is good for all. And the best thing that we can hope for is that when you have more than one enemies, the best thing that you can really hope for is that they're not working together.
Or orchestrated, from a similar goal. Man, the important thing is that I feel still ahead of this, and I still feel confident that the Gasconade can continue as planned.
Yeah, thank you so much for getting these 3 in. They were actually extremely helpful. We now have a foundation of information to look into, although we might have to convince everybody to go to Altbrook, but we'll see what happens. But I think we can continue with the Gasconade. I don't know,
If you 3 are confident in that, I have been up for most of the night and day, making sure that our defenses and security are extra supported so that this event can happen. If you three feel ready, then I will send notice to Venus Joplin, Polonius Reed, and to Wilhelm von Kessel that they may enter Liberio and proceed to the cathedral. And we can begin this affair.
I think it's time.
I think it's time.
Very well then. And that's where we'll take our break. And we are back from our short
Hallo, nå har jeg fått tak I kabelen. Hvor du nå, cirka? Ok. Hvor skal jeg stoppe og møte deg da?
Han tar det på Trosterud.
Ja, Trosterud ved T-banen eller sånn?
Nei, rett ved motorveien.
Trosterud ved motorveien. På busstopp?
Ja.
Blablabla.
Skal jeg bare komme til Helsfyr?
Jeg har kjørt til Helsfyr hvis det samme buss.
Ja.
For da stopper du på bussterminalen liksom på Helsfyr ved T-banene.
Ja.
Ja. Ja, men da ses vi der.
Greit.
Ja, ha det.
and we are ready to bring on the Gasconade. Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto, the three of you depart Anchor Citadel and head through the streets of Liberio with the consul. As you do, a procession of dignitaries, nobles, high-ranking citizens of the city of Liberio, and crowds of people begin to gather throughout the street, for there is an anticipation of the arrival of the foreign monarchs in Liberio. You can see as you leave Anchor Citadel that several streets, the main roads from which the gates of Liberio connect and the main canals, are now actually barricaded by soldiers of the city, and crowds are gathering to watch the processions of Illyria, Caspia, and Westamar enter into the city of Liberio. The streets were already raucous, but a different kind of energy has suffused the roads and the people of the city as you head towards the Cathedral of St. Fiona. There is a sense of anticipation, as if the eyes of the world are on this moment. And you can hear the blaring and thunder of drums and trumpets signaling the opening of the gates of Liberio as the processions make their way into the cities. You yourselves are very quickly scooped up as several of the dignitaries from the Westamar kind of procession reach out to find you in the chaos of everything, so that you can be properly reunited with Wilhelm von Kessel. There at the front of the procession, resplendent in his new fancy armor and dressed up, almost looking, perhaps Wilhelm is looking a little bit uncomfortable because Wilhelm has been groomed professionally. Like he said, someone that's done the mustache, has done all that, done his hair and everything like that. He's looking fancy, and he is on a very majestic steed at the head of this procession. And as you enter and join the delegations, what do you do?
Wilhelm, thank you for. You look great.
Thank you. But they cleaned my hair.
They did.
Just to sort of bring you up to speed, we were able to foil a plot with Sebastian, who is running away. Is he running?
Sebastian has said hello to River and Wrath and is off having a conversation with the other mages.
Oh, there you go. Oh, all right, I'll talk to him later. Him and I barely get a chance to talk ever. He's always so busy. You've never seen us in the same room at the same time. Are we the same person? Anyway, old Sebastian, what a fool.
Yeah.
But he was he did a great job. He's our fool, yeah. And he did a
I
great
meant
job
no
with this
offense.
last mission, so we could have done without him.
Yeah.
I meant no offense by that. I was just like, if you need something blown up, you ask Sebastian Crow, right?
Yes.
You're not
And we did just that. There was an incident underneath the cathedral. We covered a plot that seems to be another attempt or at least the lives of the person attending the Gascony. We were able to shut it down and continue our investigation through it. We did find some connection with the Elbrook, a particular university.
The Guild of Conscious Practice and Scientific Discovery.
The important thing is that you're safe. We feel confident that the Gascony can go on as planned.
I thank you both for understanding Rule 26 so well.
Oh yes.
Yes, obviously.
Yes, expect everything's a trap and you'll survive.
Oh yeah.
That's, you looked into it because if you suspect that everything's a trap, then you're bound to find the plots and traps. The fact, it's of no surprise to me that there was another attempt, but by Altbrook University, what? They were friends of my father's. Altbrook was allied with my father in the war. What reason would they have to
I don't think it's true representative of Albrook University. I just think they are maybe a offshoot and quite maybe unhappy with the way that things are going, where there may be more rules and things for them to follow. They're kind of free spirits.
I think the idea of a consistent monitor is damaging to certain individuals' nefarious intentions.
I plan to make allies of Altbrook. I don't plan to squash their studies at the university. I think that education...
I want to watch these studies of necromancy and...
Yes.
Necromancy is a school of magic, as far as I know. A very formidable school of magic, taught very well in the Amethyst Academy. I see no reason why Altbrook shouldn't be looking into... Wait, they're not supposed to be practicing magic. That's conflict of interest with the Amethyst Academy. What? They're practicing necromancy.
Some kind of bringing things back to life is unsettling.
Interesting. But you said you've taken care of it, yes?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
closest friend and a foreign relation that I hope to strengthen with House Jackson. You're a Caspian
And your
prince.
muscle. We dealt with it, dealt with the problem, and we will continue to deal with these problems to make sure that you get.
Thank you. I'm just hoping this Gasconade goes well. I'm sure Illyria will be reasonable, and we've called in a neutral judge as well, so this should be all fair.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah, he's judge. They may have an ulterior motive to see us. The camera, you know. I want to see House Jackson struggle, so I feel like they might be less than neutral in their arbitration.
So now, right before we go into the Gasconade, you're telling me that our neutral judge is not neutral.
No, I told you this like literally like before we even started the duel.
I had a lot on my mind back then. There was a lot happening, okay?
Very forward with the idea that this was not fair.
That was months ago, days
That
ago.
doesn't mean we can't win. Listen, we have destroyed Big Linda and those things in the throne room, and we just need to tell the right story, and we'll win. How could they beat us in our amazing adventure with these amazing trophies that we have as proof of the daring deeds? Am I saying it right, Pluto?
Yeah, I like that. All this. Use this channel. This. You're right. I can't focus on this thing. Focus on the triumphs, the trials that we faced, overcame great obstacles. You know, this is what the Gasconade is about, and the bragging after bragging.
So much bragging.
Rule number 68, believe in yourself, and I think all three of us can do that. And Veo, we should try to act as Caspian as possible. This is a Caspian duel. It is about the boisterous, the bragging, the using as many words as possible to make yourself sound better than everybody else in the room. That's what Caspians do, right? Right, Pluto?
Oh yeah, I'm already okay. Let's practice. Okay, Veo, your best Caspian.
I'm Pluto Jackson.
Already love it. Yeah.
I know everything, and yet I'm still learning.
Interesting.
Pluto, is that you?
Interesting pivot at the end there. Wilhelm, give me your best Caspian.
I am a Caspian knight, and I killed 1 to 3 trolls, and in doing so, proved myself the most glorious fighter in all of Caspia. Nay, say to the ones who say they have killed but 4 trolls, for that is a lie, and I have killed 3, which is the most trolls killed by a Caspian, I assure you.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I like this. This is great. I want you to keep this energy. Keep this. You're both honorable Caspians.
Thank you. It's quite fun.
Yeah, doing a lot of flexing muscles. Really show. Yeah,
The gun show, or I mean the bow show, as we call it. Give them the bow show?
yeah, you gotta show them the way to the beach. It's that way.
Which beach, though? Are we talking the main beach of Westamar?
So yeah,
The North Beach, which isn't a very nice beach. It's very cold and windy, and I mean, I was there. There's a lot of fish people and a giant fish monster that we killed. Anyway,
well, let's take a moment to review some of the monsters that we slew during the duelistic purpose.
Well, you are running short on time, for the procession has been moving forward, and you are nearing the cathedral. Yeah. No, there's you're the whole entourage, right? You're talking in the middle of the streets, basically. The three of you are laughing and doing this all the time. And as the procession that you are at the head of moves towards the cathedral itself. So,
As Pluto says that, it's, oh, we're going to wing it. That's what it is.
Yep. Looks like we're winging it.
The glass dome of the Cathedral of St. Fiona glitters in the noonday sun as your processions approach the cathedral square of the Marion. Already you can see that the delegations from Illyria and from Caspia have arrived, and there are contingents of Illyrian and Caspian soldiers that have now been placed on guard, basically in neat rows of soldiery to act as a defense force should everyone is on guard. And as the Westamar forces filter in, the Anson Lang is acting as proxy to kind of organize the Westamar soldiers in the right positions, because of course Petra and Elias Drexel are judges, so they're already there. There was a meeting of the judges earlier this morning already, and since they're judges and you, Veo, are part of this duel, Anson is kind of in charge but he's working with Rudy and Rickard Steelfang on making sure that the defense that Westamar presents its force. So the entire square now is a procession of soldiers of the three great powers. Soldiers who, none of these soldiers in their histories have yet shed the blood of each other's nations. But you can tell that there's a palpable sense of wondering, are they going to be walking away from this as allies or enemies amongst the soldiery? As you enter, the High Flame Keeper greets the three of you warmly and speaks her blessing as you enter once again, and thanking you one last time, Veo, for the help that you've given. And you spot that also in attendance to observe the Gasconade are Eldrick River, as well as Wrath and Sebastian as emissaries of the Amethyst Academy that are on site. As you enter the Great Hall, the Great Chamber of the Cathedral of St. Fiona, where the sacred flame burns in the brazier at the center beneath the glass domes, the circular structure has been divided equally into representatives of each of the three nations. And a great chair has been placed to seat the respective heads of state, but also placed beside it in the Illyrian delegation is a seat that is placed with equal relevance beside that of the Lord Regent for the High Paladin, Uriel Bradley. As the three of you enter the room as well, there is another seat that has been placed beside but behind Venus Joplin. And it's a smaller, rather uncomfortable looking wooden seat. And as you look around Paluto, you realize that there is not a seat for you amongst the Westamar delegation, because you're a Caspian. And it dawns on you that this small seat placed behind Venus Joplin is your place to sit.
What if you just couldn't stand with us? Is that really bad? Would that piss her off?
I believe my place is on that tiny wooden stool.
You're one of the leading people in this Gasconade. You're expected to sit on a tiny stool behind our neutral judge.
It is
I
that we
can
just
conjure up a chair for you.
no, I think it's best that we just follow the procedure. Anything I can do to sort of gain favor and keep things above, especially as we enter.
Looking around the room, is Rudy here anywhere?
Rudy is basically in charge of security. So Rudy during this, and Rudy, Wrath, and Sebastian are all present. So if you do want to switch over to any of them at any moment, you can. But they're kind of in their enforcement roles. Yes.
As Rudy, I just
Hei sann. Jeg skulle bare si at jeg må bare innom og hente sånn stige, hvis vi kunne begynne på høyttaleren også. Ja, for jeg misforstår. Ja, ok. Ja. Da blir vi jo fort 8:30 kanskje. Ja. Denne går. Ha det. Hallo. Hvor er du på bussen nå? Ok, faen, nå kjørte jeg for meg, da tenker jeg. Jeg kjører da jeg kan ta inntil vennen din. Det var litt rask. Jeg kan kjøre bak veien, så kommer jeg opp på Fyrstikktorget bak da, liksom. På høyre siden. Eller bak mot skolen der, eller hva det er for noe, da, hvor det er sånn... Ja, mot Kiwien, der er det vel. Kiwi. Ja. Det var kanskje den bussen jeg så kjøre inn her nå, da. Ja, men da kommer jeg straks. Og så snakket jeg med han vaktmesteren at vi må ta med en stige, så da, i stedet for å dra opp og hente den andre, så kan vi bare leie en liten og en stor. Så slipper jeg å bruke tid på det. Ja, greit. Ha det.
as you're passing, say, "Don't worry, I got this. You just focus on getting through this gasconade, and I'm sure the rest will take care of itself. But I'm gonna make sure everything's ship shape out here in terms of these guards."
Rudy, keep your eyes open. Keep your people on guard. Apparently, there was another attempt, so just be aware.
Stars. All right, I'll let them know that we need to be extra vigilant. Don't worry about what's going on. Just focus.
Thank you.
As you take your places, you see the prominent figures of the nations of Congress. Venus Joplin stands at the head of her delegate. imposing woman in her late 50s, with broad shoulders and a square face with defined features, and short black hair. She purses her lips and narrows her eyes, and as she looks at Paluto Jackson up and down, with a bit of a scowl on her face. She wears a thick breastplate that leaves her arms exposed, and as she does so, she sort of flexes her muscles over at you, and of course the engraved symbol of her house, the muscled arm holding a sword, is prominently engraved upon her breastplate. She wears another cape with the crest of her house upon it, and normally in the past you might see her wearing the just a silver circlet, but today she has donned the crown of Caspia, which is a wicked thing, a crown that is basically a band with 6 swords around the length of the circular band that all point upward, each sword symbolizing one of the 6 swords of Caspia, and of course in a thin sheath upon her waist is the rapier of House Joplin. And so I Ludo up and down as she takes her seat. Entering in, of course, Uriel Radley, who you had dealt with before. But alongside Uriel Radley are 2 other delegates from Illyria. The first is Lord Polonius Reed, the Lord Regent of Illyria. He is a burly black man, probably in his 60s, round and chubby face. He has shaggy eyebrows, and sort of a heavy-set gaze. He himself is dressed in exquisite Illyrian silk, and there are rings on several rings on all of his fingers. He's got a frilled ruff and puffed sleeves with gold filigree. And he himself, he strokes his beard and looks carefully at Wilhelm as Wilhelm enters the room. Beside him, though, is a younger woman who has dark brown hair done up in a bun at the back of her head. She has sharp and angular features, and a pointed chin. She herself is dressed in Illyrian silk, but one that is more plainly decorated. Wilhelm, as you enter, one of your attendants leans over and says, "That is the Grand Ambassador, Beatrice Adler." And finally, Uriel Radley, the High Paladin of the Silver Order, with his grave expression, enters, not making eye contact with a single person, looking away for moments, but keeping his massive hammer, the Judge, prominently set at the side of his chair. Then, the only others given a position of prominence are Ophelia Reed, Petra Lang, Elias Drexel, and the final member of the judging is another flamekeeper of that is part of our delegation. Pardon me. Should have to get their name out. I'll have to. Oh my god, I have. The other one of the other flamekeepers that has been the judge on the Illyrian side is out here as well, and so they are all positioned near the braziers, not necessarily with their respective delegations, but all together within this.
Er han blind, eller?
As the
Think he's
final
blind, boy.
group of representatives that are amongst all of the groups that are gathered and assembled here it's Flamekeeper Tamora that is amongst them, who is a contemporary of Ophelia Reed, also garbed in the trappings of a Flamekeeper. Also with Uriel Radley are his fellow duelists, Mallory Granick, and another Flamekeeper, Shield,
Faen, han
as well.
låste seg igjen, da.
And then
Alla.
Ja, fort å skaffe stige og komme oss til skolen.
Altså plutselig kunne vi gjøre de høyttalerne også.
Ja, han sa at hvis det var mulighet, så var det greit å ha med stige hvis rommene var ledige.
Ja.
Men som sagt, det skriver timer, altså.
Ja.
This contest represents a
Han gikk til stande i det i går.
Jo, det gikk greit. Ja.
Ikke noe hørt.
Hun brukte sånn kraftcelle og sjekket alle mellomrommene.
Ja.
Og så pusset hun med sånn forsiktig med sånn der, ikke bor, eller det var en slags bor da, men det dura mer enn jeg følte noe liksom. Samtidig som hun sprutet med sånn der greier som smakte mentol eller noe sånt. Ja, tannpasta smak.
has been denied to Liberia. For well, the edicts of
Da
Lumen
måtte jeg tydeligvis bare bli flinkere på å bruke den der tannpirkeren som man titter gjennom hver eneste.
there have still been
fordi
conflicts, there have still been wars.
hvis man har over tid eller mange år, hvis man har dårlig tannkjøtt, så stiger tannkjøttet visstnok, og så synker tannfestet.
The
Ah,
diplomacy
Og hvis det synker for mye, så kan denne i verste fall begynne å løsne. Da snakker om 10 år. Hvis man ikke gjør det på 10 år, da.
Ja.
and so
Det
on.
er liksom, hvis du klarer å vedlikeholde det, så vil man ha best mulig
I
tid.
will. This has been tradition, and as such, I suppose that it falls best to
Ja, fordi du skulle til sånn ring klokka 12.
Ja.
Hvis vi leier stige, så stenger den greia klokka 1. Da,
Venus Joplin.
ja, da får jeg bare gjøre
As
så mye
Isabella
du kan, og så
Enciso
si det at det er
continues to speak
fortsett en annen dag.
for a little bit, giving a bit of a longer speech, Venus Joplin leans back in her chair
Hva er jo leie stiger?
towards you. A
Utleie
few
var
other
det.
speeches
Var den ved kontoret?
delegates laying out the process.
De har veldig greie priser.
Ja.
Cousin, you've got a lot.
Så det står ikke noe stående på kontoret.
Nei, det gjør det sikkert, men da bruker jeg lengre tid på å komme meg litt.
Ja.
We are
Jeg tror ikke det har noe tidtrinns.
pushing for the greatness that is West. And I hope you will be a fair,
Ja, det tviler jeg på at de har, fordi
honorable,
alle prosjektene nå om dagen, så får man
do
Ah.
well to
i hvert fall
honor
ikke.
our forefather.
Altså, du får ikke lov å ha en stige som er høyere enn 2 meter hvis du er på et prosjekt som regel.
Clearly.
Ja.
Fordi da må du ha stillas.
Ja,
You
ok.
think you've laid some kind of trap for me, don't you?
farlig med
Leo Jackson.
I'm not smart enough to lay a trap for you.
Fine then. Well,
I'm mostly making these things up as I go. All I know is that I want Wilhelm on the throne. He's my friend, and I think we're sort of related.
you
And-
don't play games. She's trying to keep her voice down. You don't play games. I know what you're doing here. You're trying to get me my vote It's going to be that you've killed the most impressive monster and that you've got the most impressive sword. That's going to win you 2 votes at the Kingswood, and you're having me deliver them to you. If you think I'm going to give up this crown that easily, you've got another thing coming.
If you were really understanding of the true nature of what we're trying to do here in the Barrio, you would put aside our differences and do what's best for Westamar and Caspia and Illyria and unite against the common enemy, which is our misunderstandings of each other. I'm pretty sure. And also, who's with the mind games? Look at this wobbly chair. It's got like a weird leg and stuff on it. So don't come at me with your playing stuff on it. You know, number one, this sword is wicked, and it definitely earned that vote. And number two, that monster is up for grabs. Anyone before the Kingsman. I challenge you. You are a true Caspian. You'll go and slay something bigger than the head I got on the platter over there.
Pluto Jackson, today, I'm going to slay the biggest monster in this room. Your ego.
It's good. It's good. I wish I could have used that later. Yeah, well, you're not looking as swole as you normally do. Your glutes look soft.
Oh, we're cascading, aren't we?
If you want to throw down an arm wrestle with me after this, but
We're here to settle a dispute between Caspians and Illyrians. And if you're a true Caspian, you'll give me my fair shot. But I know deep down, you won't just let an Illyrian win.
I'm the truest Caspian of us all. And that's a lesson that you're going to learn today, Pluto Jackson.
Somebody bring me a better chair.
Venus stands. Enough of these speeches. I've heard enough. This is a Caspian duel, and this is one of our most honored traditions, the Gasconade. I'm here to see braggarts. I'm here to see boasting. I'm here to see glory, and I'm here to see the monsters that you've slain. So why are we delaying with all this posh talk? Bring on the main event. Let's see what you really got.
Oh boy.
All right then. Who's first? I understand that we've got some very impressive and very large things. I hope they'll fit in the doors of this.
Hvor vil du dra?
Nadderud videregående skole.
Henter veibeskrivelse til Nadderud videregående skole.
There's a joke here about shattering a glass ceiling, but I'm not going to do it. But Venus Joplin says, I want to see what you've done. Show me what you got. Pluto Jackson, Uriel Radley, you think that both of you have gone out into Drakenheim and slayed some of the biggest monsters. I think that the biggest monsters exist in Caspia and the mountains. I might be wrong. I haven't been to Drakenheim. It seems like a very interesting place. A lot of Caspians have died there. Wonder why. But in any case, who's first?
I kick back the stupid chair. I, Lord Jackson of the Caspians, will show you my greatest trophies and prove to you
Bare legge røret over.
You brought many trophies. Which trophy will you say is the greatest of them all? I don't want to see any seconds. I just want to see your best. And if your best isn't good enough, the other trophies don't matter.
High King Joplin, I present to you a creature from the depths of the city. As you venture past the mountains of Caspia, you will find things that are more terrifying and strength that is beyond measure. Something that can only be measured in trolls. And I think it's close to 100.
100
Minimum.
trolls. 100 trolls. Only 100 trolls.
As you cross the seas.
100 trolls is a morning exercise for the soldiers of House Joplin. 100 trolls. I could do that at breakfast. 100 trolls is no impressive feat. That's a warm-up for a mewling, green, inexperienced Caspian knight. Show me something that is worthy of the legacy of Rex Caspian. Show me something that is worthy of House Jackson.
I will show you what is worthy. I will not present to you a monster that is worth 100,
Mange
nor
forskjellige
1,000,
Ja, det er
stiler.
helt sykt.
100,000
Det er en
trolls.
periode i livet hvor folk
This creature
tester
Absolutt.
lives beyond the grave.
ringen.
This creature that I present to you is unkillable. actually slaying it only delays its feast. And I
Are you saying
gesture.
that you haven't killed your trophy? Are you saying that it's not actually dead? Then you forfeit automatically.
It's dead,
Nei?
This
It's dead.
creature
Your Majesty.
Hva?
is a
Nei?
creature that will terrify
Nei?
even the most
iPad.
seasoned Caspian hunter. I present to you the monster.
Ja, hun har, du kan sende e-post, ja.
The doors of the cathedral open with a crash.
Bare dobbeltsjekke.
The wagon bearing the
Kan
head
sende
of
det.
Big Linda is pulled in
Ja.
by a cadre of hooded lantern soldiers.
Ja.
But there's a tarp
Blir 14.
that has been laid over it.
I begin
tror jeg det blir.
to walk around the cathedral and
Tore
begin
kommer og
to
Lilja nå.
gesture towards like each individual, presenting like
Hello?
a showman on a circus stage. Have you ever
Nei,
pictured
jeg
a
hadde ikke
creature
fått det.
that has a bite that
Ja.
can crush the walls of a castle? Have you ever seen a creature that spits horrible,
Ja.
disgusting tar and pine that will soak
Ja.
through your skin and corrode your bones? Something that even within its mouth lies hundreds of rats that begin to feast on your flesh,
Ja.
where you die before
Ja.
you're even swallowed. This creature lives within the depths of Drakenheim, a place none of you could merely survive the walls of. Merely to enter it would be your demise, and I, Pluto Jackson, have delved deep into the haze where even those who consider themselves the greatest warriors would crumble and mutate into disgusting creatures that you yourself would go out and have to slay your fathers and your brothers and your sisters. They would crumble
Oh, I heard
beneath
this
your
is a
sword
fish
before they
reporter, too.
even met this creature, which I have easily decapitated and carried across the sea to present to you, the fine viewers. To show you this creature will horrify you and amaze you, I present the corpse of Big Linda, and I rip down
All right, give me an intimidation check with advantage.
the thing, and I'm gonna use my commanding presence.
Okay.
So I get a intimidation. 26.
There is a gasp from the crowd as the oozing head of Big Linda is unveiled to the crowd. And as you whoosh the curtain off, it actually like blusters the flame, and there's like a flicker of the lights that reverberate through the entire chamber. There's gasps, and you see for a brief moment, even Venus Joplin's eyes go wide, and she says, This is what you've killed?
This is the terror of Drakenheim.
This oozing, disgusting, monstrous head is truly worthy of all that hot air, a magnificent show. Excellent job for a Caspian. Now that you have unveiled your trophy, who did you slay?
Present to you my second and third in command, and they would decide who they are in that ranking. Wilhelm von Kessel and Veo Senya.
Second.
unveiling of the first trophy. We'll now see the second trophy, and then we will get to my favorite part of the Cascade, the blow by blow, where you will each tell me of how you slayed this monster of a trophy. And then, by the measure of your deeds and valor, I will decide who is the true winner. Well, she turns. You, Uriel Radley, Paladin of the Silver Order. You think your knights are so brave. You think your knights are so accomplished. What do you have to show for yourself, Uriel Radley? I hope it's not some pathetic mage that you knocked over in a basement somewhere, because that would be truly, truly pathetic. Going off, slaying wizards in dresses and stealing their homework? Pah! That is not valor. Where are the monsters that you've slain? Where are the demon hunters of the Silver Order of old? What is the impressive kill that you will present that could even hope to be a match for this magnificent kill by a valiant warrior of Caspia? What have you got to show? Show me what you've got.
Of the audience, Sebastian yells, "Hey!" That's all.
And Uriel Radley turns and she says, "Now, Your Majesty, I'm known for being a humble man, and I will say that I have fought many a man and beast in my time, but this is something else, I must tell you that much. You understand me? Because the things that you see in that streets of that city are horrors, but they are nothing compared to the evil that dwells beneath the earth in that crater where that cursed star fell upon our nightmares incarnate, things that are not meant to be, and monsters that would truly terrify even the nightmares of the most valiant, even the, well, I must say, monsters that would haunt the nightmares of 1,000 trolls, if you pardon my turn of phrase. Now this beast, I thought when I first laid my eyes upon it that there was no way we could destroy it. I thought that it would take, well, I'd have to choke it with the very earth itself to kill it. And that's what we did. I present to you, Miss John, I, King Caspia. We've taken to calling this beast the Mother Worm.
So, okay.
The doors of the crater, the doors of the cathedral,
Fotobox längre framme.
the doors of the cathedral burst open with a crash, and a great cart rolls out. Your eyes look at it for a moment. Is it bigger than yours? Is the cart larger? It barely fits through the doorway. The soldiers of the Silver Order have to push and heave, and as it does so, there's a creaking noise of the cart. And they pull it through, parking it beside the head of Big Linda. And Uriel Radley pulls out the creature. It is the entire body of a gigantic crater worm that has been bisected tip to tail, split open like someone has gutted a colossal eel. It has a mouth of teeth that are all horrible pieces of delirium that the knights have shattered and broken. And the thing smells and even quivers just a little bit. We fought I must say, destroying this thing, I had to ride this worm like it was the most furious steed you'd ever known. Drove it right up against the biggest shard of delirium I could find and had it rip its own guts out in the process. And that was the only way we could get it to stop. This is the mother worm. Venus Joplin. An impressive beast. Truly a monster unlike the likes I have ever seen. But you get ahead of yourself, Paladin. You start telling me already of the tales, and perhaps you carry yourself a little bit too humbly. This is a Gasconade! This is not a time for humility. This is a time for showmanship. For showing me the glory of what you can accomplish, the greatness of your deeds. Don't hold back, not for a moment. Think of just what's on the line. Think of all the things, of the glory, of the majesty of your kill. Think of all that is at stake, and you would have humility at a time like this? Not off to a good start, I think, High Paladin. Not off to a good start, despite the impressiveness of what you brought before me. Well, here it is then. What are the terms of this duel? What have you agreed on is the prize for the victor of this duel?
Wilhelm, my second or third in command, will read you the terms.
Now, Uriel Radley interrupts. Now that's not appropriate. He ain't no third in command. He is the king of Westmar.
The duel was made against Lord Pluto Jackson, and so I was merely an aide as his companion in this duel. I might be a potential king of Westmar, but in this duel, I was next in command to the great Pluto Jackson, and I am humbled by my position in this duel. The terms that we are fighting
Venus Joplin scoffs. Humbled, eh?
Yes.
With respect, Wilhelm von Kessel, you are a king of the continent. Act like one. Humility is not something that you should be acting with. If we are to be peers and equals, I won't have you groveling yourself before Pluto Jackson.
Hi, King Venus Joplin. If you want me to act a powerful king, I can do so. And I think that kindness is a strong act. And I think that it would do you well to show a little more from time to time. And if you'd like, maybe we can arm wrestle after this and settle it the Caspian way. But until then, it was a humbling act to fight alongside such a great warrior as the incredible Pluto Jackson, who fell this amazing beast. We aided him in doing so, and yes, Jackson is an incredible swordsman. I myself am a skilled duelist. Dueling a monster is far different than dueling a person, and if you want to duel, I assure you I can show you my skills.
She lights up when you say duel. I see the rapier at your waist. Don't tempt me with a good time.
But are we not here to tempt? Are we not here to be boisterous and loud? And just because I use the term humbled does not weaken me in my position as king. It merely states that Pluto Jackson excelled in what can only be accounted to as a great tale of heroics and a great monster fight that will go down in Caspian history. And that is Pluto Jackson's triumph. I am happy to be a part of it.
Give me a persuasion check.
46.
Venus Joplin says, "Ah, I see what you're doing. You're trying to belittle him with your humility. I like it. Unorthodox, but I like it. Keep it up. It's really gonna get to him after a while." Good. That's some nice swagger.
Thank you.
Wilhelm, your read of it is that humility is really not gonna win Venus
Yeah,
Joplin
that's-
over, but it seems like she might have thought that you were joking.
Fair. I step back.
Well then, I see before me two very impressive trophies indeed. Very impressive. It's almost surprising that one of them wasn't done by a Caspian. And if I didn't know, and if you told me that neither of them were done by Caspians, I just wouldn't believe you, to be perfectly honest. To be perfectly frank, Uriel Radley, you're sure you're not partially Caspian? Because, to be perfectly frank, to be perfectly honest, I'm just flabbergasted that as someone who isn't a Caspian would be killing a monster such as this. It just boggles the mind. But this is well done. Honor. Thus, I want to hear the blow by blow. Tell me, how did you do it?
I never even gave the terms, but we're past that now.
Oh, no. Actually, we're not. We do need it. I'm getting excited. I just love hearing stories of monsters being utterly and valiantly destroyed by brave warriors. But it is important that we do have all the business stuff.
Sorry, High King Joplin. I got carried away too in the excitement.
Excellent. I like that very much.
The terms of the duel are as follows. In question were some discussion around the alliance between Illyria and Westamar. Illyria has a presence in Westamar currently. Also, Illyria was asking for the head of one Sebastian Crow, which we also believe was unjust. In order to assess who has the lead and what the terms of our allegiance would be, and the fate of Sebastian Crow, we were challenged to a duel. If we win the duel, we are able to more strongly defend our claim in Westamar. I might be mixing this up a bit, but can we... Yeah. And in so doing, come to an agreement of peace that protects Sebastian and Westamar and brings Illyria into the fold as a great ally to face against the threat of delirium.
Now you forget one very important term of our agreement, Your Majesty. I believe another thing up for grabs in this duel is the Sword of Ignatius.
Right. The Sword Ignatius, I believe, was found and bestowed upon Pluto Jackson. And although I agree that we will hand it over to Illyria, I think that its value in the fights to come cannot be denied, and the fact that the sword itself chose Pluto cannot be denied. And so this duel is to negotiate the terms on which Pluto, in the end, when the threat of delirium is settled, will hand it back over as a relic of Saint Vitruvio. But with the sword having chosen him, I think the sword has intentions of its own to be a tool used against the evil that is coming.
That was not the terms of our duel. The sword will be handed over, and it will be used as a tool, but not wielded by Jackson.
I thought that's what we were discussing, and that's why the...
If I am to understand correctly, outcome of this duel will decide whether you hand the sword over or not. I thought that was the whole point.
Yes. I thought that's what I said.
Yes, and that you will hand the sword over immediately when you lose this duel.
But we're going to win the duel and therefore keep the sword until we decide to hand it over at a later date that is in the near future.
I mean, with respect to you, Your Majesty, I just don't think that this is much of a contest very much. I mean, your monster is very impressive, I might add, but I mean, it's just not nearly as big as this worm.
Well, Uriel, and I step up and I say, let the stories and the blow-by-blow decide that, because I think you'll find there's much value in the story to be told, not just of the monster that's been killed.
Yeah,
Venus.
Uriel, we all couldn't just be gardening in the crater, picking up worms and carrying them across Drakenheim. Some of us were out there slaying bees. Like, we're not out here for horticulture. We're here to slay monsters.
At this comment, Venus Joplin goes, he's got you there, Paladin. Look at you, picking up little worms to bring to a big duel. I like that.
Not
and
to
she
mention
slaps Pluto Jackson on the back.
Not to mention that the head of Big Linda, the greatest monster of Drakenheim, was taken down by the very sword I carry, not driven into a giant delirium crystal like some cattle being herded. You are but a farmer and a caretaker. You are not a warrior.
They're crap.
I'm gonna. My friends, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We should do the blow-by-blow on what actually occurred.
Senya should tell us the blow-by-blow.
Before that.
No, I want to hear what she's going to say.
I'm trying to use an ability. I've been trying to squeeze this in. In my talking, can I use panache?
Sure.
Cool. Hooray.
What's panache do?
So Venus Joplin is not hostile towards us, I imagine. So with a persuasion roll of 20 against her insight check, for the next minute, she will be charmed by me.
Okay, she is charmed.
Not that I need to do the full blow-by-blow, but just...
Okay, sure. She is charmed by Wilhelm.
All right.
She was... Yeah, that's perfect. But she says, it is clear that you are a mighty king, but I want to hear what this one did during your mighty battle. And she points at Vale.
Well, let me tell you, set the scene a little bit about why our monster is the best. As we're walking the streets of Drakenheim, making our way towards our desired outcome, we hear the roar of a mighty monster. We hear it again as we're going, and fear does not live in our hearts. We are ready and prepared to face whatever challenge is in front of us, even as the air we breathe is poisoned in our lungs. As we approach, not only were we put in a position where we must defend ourselves, our tip-top shape, I must say. Just want to put that flavor in there. We walk towards the empty area in which we hear this roar, this giant beast come from.
Now, where was this area that you were walking through?
It was Queen's Park Garden.
So you were going for a little bit of a walk in the park there, to understand.
No.
Sounds like you just had a little bit of a stroll where you thought you might just go to the zoo.
Have you been to Queen's Park Garden?
My Queen King. We were not on a stroll. We were on a hunt.
That was Uriel Radley.
Oh, sorry. No, Uriel. We weren't strolling in the garden, again, searching for worms. We were on a hunt for a monster we knew to be at the center and the heart of Drakenheim. As we came through the mist, it emerged much, much larger than we had ever seen it before. See, we had come across Big Linda, thinking that it was a mighty prize, but the city itself had gotten its claws, had gotten its contamination into Big Linda, and she became bigger and more fierce than we ever imagined her to be. And yet, we did not stop. And yet, we did not stop. We knew that we would take this prize. As we fought with sword, with rapier, with arrow, blow by blow, Linda suffered. Although she had her terrible breath, full of rattlings, may I add, full of delirium, full of poison for her skin, we persisted. Stroke by sword, arrow in eyes, and rapier in flesh. As going, every blow seemed to not only hurt her, and yet the very environment in which we were fighting healed her back. So when Pluto said we were fighting in 100 trolls, we weren't, that was not what we were fighting against. We were fighting against life and breath of this deadly city. Each time we brought Linda to the ground, slash, she would rise back up from the dead. So although we were successful in killing her not once, not twice, but 3 or 4, 5 times, many times, countless times, she rose from the depths of beyond because of this poison in the air. We didn't just kill Big Linda. We had to not only steal her life away, but continue to do so until she was brought to the ground outside of the delirium poison. We didn't just smash her against a rock and she's dead. We had to constantly fight against not only Big Linda, but the environment of the depths of Drakenheim itself. So if you're asking how big of a prize, how many times, how many counts can you consider to be the many lives of this deadly monster?
Give me a performance check with advantage.
Oh man, oh, okay.
Å, faen, nå er det
12.
Okay. Well, fortunately,
Oi, da er det mange spøkelsesykler. Nå snakker Globus, noen som hører på den nå. Bære ut mens... Og så skal vi ha med alle de høyttalerne her også. Noen Bosch, skal vi se, det ligger en foran. Det skal være 3 stykk. Ikke 8-9 oppdateringer, fy faen så ofte det er. Det er ikke så ofte oppdateringer på Apples App Store.
Nei.
Det er liksom, kødder ikke, flere oppdateringer I uka, liksom. Oi, whoops.
Var det 3 av de høyttalerne?
Ja. Hvis ikke det var et annet merke, da. Og så var det de platene. Litt av sånne plater. Så var det en av boksene. De skal også inn. Det er jo en av drive-kortene. Den er 4 da. Ja, så de platene er...
Alt er styren.
Ja. Den. Må sende melding til Erik at du er her. Ja, jeg gjorde det.
Noen som er der borte?
Hæ?
Er det en kar I arbeidsplikten der borte?
Hva tenker man? det er 10 da. Ok, kammersin da.